See, it's a different opening for that one.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You come up with the just they really just punch you. Punch the viewer. I like that. Hi folks.
We'll see who comes in. We're at a weird time today, so
Yes, we are. Well, yeah,
I mean, usually
somebody may have an early lunch, they'll tune in,
never know.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Glenn?
I'm doing okay. You?
I'm doing well.
You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on today and such. So
Talk to our friend Dan, the guy with the miles.
yeah,
He was wondering if the on the website he wanted to see what games were going to be run that have signed up already. And I said, I don't know.
that's the last page we're on right now, and it's a pain in the ass because each entry that we log has to have the ability for people to then go to it, click on it, and see what it's about,
Uh-huh.
but also click on a different button and be able to sign up for it.
Okay.
So it's a multi-page script that has to be written.
So me going to put a game up there, I got to wait. Okay.
No, you can put a game up there. You can go and
But I can't
add a
see.
game, and you can add all your games and everything. But
Right.
the page that shows the games right now is currently not up because we're trying to get that all scripted out and working.
Right. Okay. What we're talking about, folks, is wizardcon.com.
.org.
.org. Wizardcon.org for WizardCon 2, which is coming in April, right?
Coming in April.
Yes.
Got pretty much now. We're getting all the. We're almost done with all. We're sold out of all the vendor slots now.
Wow. Yeah, I looked on the site. There's like 13 vendors there.
Yeah, we've actually picked up a couple more overnight, so we're filled on the inside, and we're starting to fill up on the outside.
Well,
So,
now I know which convention is really going to hit my wallet.
you know what the nice thing is? I will say something. Last year we had a lot of knick-knack kind of vendors. This year we got a lot of like gaming vendors. Really gaming centric vendors. We got a guy coming who's selling OSR games from the 70s and 80s.
Wow.
A classic gaming OSR gaming old school gaming vendor.
When you wandering around looking for I'm going to forget where I am and thinking, well, where's all the North Texas vendors?
Yeah, I mean, so this year at WizardCon, a lot of really gaming centered vendors, which is really, really good. So make it a better experience for everybody.
One vendor one year in North Texas had the not WizKids, the ones with the clear plastic like minis that you put in the base, the cardboard or whatever they are. I want to say WizKids, but that's not.
No, WizKids has the click bases.
Arknight? I think it's Arknight. Yeah. They were there 1 year, and that 1 year I kept I spent the next year saving money so I could buy their stuff, and they never showed up again.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good convention this year as far as for vendors and gaming.
Yes.
We're getting more and more people signing up now that Christmas is over because holidays, people are kind of geared up to be a little bit more careful like always.
Are you getting a good variety of games?
Yes, we actually are. A nice mix of CCG card games, RPGs that are. We've got things like Shadow Dark. We've got a lot of OSR D&D, a lot of new D&D, DC. Let's see. Let me think. What else we got going here? DCCs. We got some DCC. We've got. You're doing some Ghostbusters.
Gangbusters too.
And Gangbusters. Yep. We've got a couple Star Frontier games. People signed up to run. So it's a nice variety overall of just overall gaming. We've got a couple people. One guy's wanting to run Axis and Allies.
Whoa.
Europe, which is really cool.
Well, if I can get Full On Gamer and Brian out there from Faco's Hammer, if I can get Full On Gamer, I know Full On Gamer would run some BattleTech.
Yeah.
BattleTech.
Yeah, we had a BattleTech guy there last year. Sadly, his table wasn't too busy. I noticed, which was kind of a bummer because BattleTech's a really cool game. but it was our first year. Also, people kind of just were just discovering us and everything. So
Yeah, he came to North Texas a couple of times and he ran BattleTech, and it was I watched it a couple of times.
yeah.
At the time, he was still enlisted. And
Hmm.
he's retired from the army, and he was there at like he said he kept saying, "I got to leave at midnight so I can report to base," because he was in Lawton at the time.
Hmm.
Gotta leave at midnight. Midnight to get there. I'm down there at 1 a.m. His whole thing's set up. People are playing. He says, "I thought you had to leave." "Ah, that's all right. They'll understand." So it's like, all right, you're the one who's
Yeah.
going to be in trouble. So, but yeah, his. I'm glad you're going to have a lot of good gaming.
Yeah, good mixture. I was really surprised.
I
Got
haven't
some
put.
really weird stuff. Arkham Horror's being run. Let's see, Call of Cthulhu's being run. The RPG. We've got just it's a real cool variety of games.
Okay, any
So,
five? Just asking
oh
for
no,
me.
there's 5 being signed up for. Yes.
Okay.
So
Um,
that's why I think about. That's why I was making the comment about how I think that the RPG part of it is really cool because uh, someone's getting breakfast.
oh joy. Uh,
So
by the way, if you hear some dripping, it's the bathroom over here. We have to leave it dripping because of the weather.
oh, okay. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys ain't used to too much cold down there, not like we are.
Well, we know the drill. Let me put it that way. When it comes through, we know the drill.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's kind of weird. I've been here 25 years. I still haven't got used to it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So basically, going to be a good convention.
Good.
It's going to be a chaotic year for me.
Okay, WizardCon, I know is your baby,
Yep.
right? Is it just your baby, or do you have other people working with you?
It's me and my wife and a couple volunteers.
Oh, okay. Because like down in North Texas, there's Bad Mike and Gary.
Hmm.
Bad Mike and Doug, now it's Bad Mike and Gary. You got
Yeah.
two people plus they have a staff, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. As we grow, we're going to have to get more people definitively. I think this year we'll be able to work with a couple people working with us. But if we start getting any bigger, we're going to have to get more people. Definitely.
well, it's going to happen. You're probably going to go through a couple of hotels too. As you grow, you got to have more space.
Yeah.
You know, you can cap it, but so did North Texas. They still needed a bigger space.
Yeah. And that's the big problem because Battle Creek just does not have it.
Yeah, you have,
Battle Creek, this is pretty much the only convention space unless you're going to go to the Kellogg Arena. And
yeah.
the Kellogg Arena is literally just a big arena, and they they are not small anything friendly price wise.
See, I don't know the geography of where you are. Last year, you were in Kalamazoo, which
Yes,
apparently is close by. Uh,
yes.
anything there?
Kalamazoo has some convention space also, but the problem is price. Um, for some reason, like Kalamazoo has Wings Event Center, then they got the Kalamazoo Expo Center.
Right.
Like I'm pretty transparent. Like as an example, for our event location we're at, they want like $1,000 a day.
Okay.
Okay, that's really reasonable. You go to Kalamazoo and you go to, as an example, the next best thing, which would be their expo center. You're at about 3 grand per day, so it's triple the cost. The problem with that is you got to look at how many people are you bringing in at what cost per ticket. So what is my overall going to be? Because you also have to make sure all your special guests have hotels,
Right.
and there's other costs like you got to have like all the t-shirts printed, the badges printed, you got to do all of that. We have an edge because we do that on our own,
Right.
but it's still there's a lot of ancillary costs that go with running a game convention.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
yeah.
And as far as if I were to come again, if I could come again, I can understand if you had to move to another city or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I am really kind of against doing a convention in a convention center.
Well, the problem with a convention center is it's one gigantic open echoey space.
Oh, I don't mind that, but the
You know,
point is, I have to be. I want to stay where where I'm gaming.
yes, and that's the other aspect of it is you don't stay at
Right.
where it's at. But see, but that's the thing about Battle Creek. Battle Creek has the Kellogg Arena. The Kellogg Arena now is attached to a hotel.
Oh,
So they've really upped their prices too. And the hotel they're attached to is a quote unquote high end luxury hotel.
so there's no off season for them.
There's no off season. And even if there was an off season, they don't, for some reason, the problem with my city is this is there are two main economic corridors in Battle Creek.
Okay.
There is the downtown,
Hmm.
which has like the Kellogg Arena, that big high end hotel, a lot of other stuff. Then you have the Beckley Road corridor, which is where the mall is at, Myers, Walmart, and a
Right.
lot of small businesses. The guy who's in charge of the downtown area, the Downtown Development Authority, is a guy who basically puts all his energy into the downtown and wants the downtown to be a high end go to place.
He's getting that, trying to do that gentrifying thing. Yeah.
And he thinks that everything, and everything is hyper expensive downtown.
Hmm.
And when you like go to restaurants down there, they're really niche, like niche high end restaurants,
Yeah.
like literally like $75 a plate for food, and it's like this is Battle Creek, Michigan. I don't care where you're at.
Get that.
You better be throwing me a thick freaking tomahawk steak at $75 a plate and all the fixings.
Damn.
And even then, you can take your plate and stick it because I'm not paying that.
Right.
You
Right.
know, but that's all these places downtown, like the Cricket Club and all these other things, which are, these places you go in and pay $10 for a glass of Guinness. It's like, give me a break. You ain't you.
They're a big city that nobody ever told them they weren't a big city.
That's right. But the thing is, the Beckley Road corridor is actually booming because of the fact that all the hotels are being put there now because it's less expensive.
Yeah.
But the thing is, same thing with Kalamazoo. You go to Kalamazoo, which is 20 miles away, and that's the problem with Battle Creek. Battle Creek sits here. You got Kalamazoo 20 miles away here. You got Jackson, which is 35 miles the other way. Lansing, 40 miles north, and it's so limited for convention space. We just don't have the luck here for it.
That's weird because you're in Michigan.
Yeah.
And we all know what else is in Michigan gaming wise. And
Well, there's actually, believe it or not, there is a lot of large conventions in Michigan. You got the Motor City Comic Con, you got the Grand Rapids Comic Con.
they got Comic Cons. Okay, yeah.
Yep, they got Comic Cons. There are a whole bunch in the Lansing, Grand Rapids, Detroit. There's a bunch of them actually, even a few big gaming conventions.
So,
But they're
yeah.
expensive. I mean, they're the ones where you're going to spend $200 for a weekend ticket.
Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor's even worse because that's where the U of M is at, the University of Michigan, and all of that. It's a big college town.
Mm-hmm.
So there is, what is it called? There's a major game con in Ann Arbor
Mm-hmm.
that's over there. And, that's another one that you're going to spend $125 for a weekend pass.
Yeah,
it's expensive because they have to make up for what they're paying for the convention space.
Right.
If I moved to Wings Event Center or Kellogg Arena, excuse me, in Battle Creek,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably have to charge $125 to $150 for a weekend pass.
Wow.
Because I'll give you an example. For the Wings Event Center in Battle Creek, Michigan, since they've connected to the hotel, their prices have doubled. They're now, for 3 days, it'd be $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah. It's expensive.
It's so funny. I'm just starting to now get used to more expensive like conventions to go to, like badges, which is kind of ironic since we both retired and now we're broke. But the point is, when Bad Mike, last year, the year before, Gary and Bad Mike went to 110 for a week for the weekend.
Yeah,
and it's like I went, Um, but I paid it last year.
But also, their convention is larger. Their convention is more organized. When I say more organized, they have more special celebrity guests. They have more little niche things because they've honed their convention really well down than other like even if I was at 400 or 500 people, they have more of a. I imagine it's more expensive for their conventions, their location than ours is because being down in
I
where
would say
they're at.
the Dallas area, yeah,
Very much so.
and they're
Yeah.
right near the airport too.
Yep. And so, when you get that type of convenience, your price for the center goes way up.
It does. I can understand that.
Yeah. And they're also putting a lot of celebrity guests up in hotels. They're sitting there doing stuff like that. So their ancillary costs, even at 550, 600 people, is
Yeah.
is way
Well,
high.
it's been difficult because, from what I understand, this is what I've heard. Doug apparently had some deep pockets,
Hmm.
and he didn't mind losing money on the con because he loved it. He loved gaming.
Hmm.
But now that Doug is gone, the last 2 or 3 years, they got Gary on board, but they've been like, okay, we got to make this thing pay for itself.
Yeah, you absolutely have to.
We don't have our backing anymore. So
Yeah. Well, our attitude with WizardCon is because we're just starting off second year, breaking even is a win.
mhm.
As long as we break even, it's a win. Anything above that is a bonus. But starting in year three is when you really start looking at to be profit centric. We have to begin making money on this because the idea is you want the profits from year one to go towards year three. Or two or year three
Right.
and such. So
Um,
um,
yeah, and practically everything North Texas does, as far as money, generally, like the raffles, the
yeah.
midnight auction, the charity game,
Mhm.
all go towards the con, paying for the con to keep it going.
Yeah, and that's going to be our focus next year because this year we're doing stuff for Tim Kask and Tim Kask's name and all that. But
I mean,
what's
yeah,
that? Starting next year, though, in 2027 is when all of the auctions, all of the raffles and such will go towards helping support the convention and bringing more people in, more celebrity guests in the following year and such.
you got merch, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have merch this year.
Good. That's one of their bigger money makers over down in North
Yeah,
Texas. The merch,
yeah,
T-shirts and bags and all that kind of
yeah.
stuff, which is great. That means the less they have to do during the con
Hmm.
generate money other than selling badges.
Yeah.
So yeah, the personally, I can't see how you people actually put on cons here in 2026 the way the three
Three cons.
three cons.
Yes, we do WizardCon.
Uh-huh.
We're doing a model convention this year, scale model, studio scale model convention, and then we went ahead and we reserved. We're going to do like a 1 day thing for Tim Kask.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be called CaskCon,
Yeah,
and
but it's just like take it back to like the 2000s. Even the 2000s, it was a lot easier to do and a lot cheaper too. But
yeah, let me show you something here.
sure.
Jim Wampler for CaskCon donated this. This is going to be um, the logo for it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, something to honor Tim and to go ahead and just kind of, do something nice for him. That'll be a con that's ran, and all the profits. What we'll do is we'll donate like to that. Will be every year. Just gonna be like a 1 day little fun thing local. Probably no special guests, nothing really special happening. Just something a nice little 1 day
Well,
game event.
yeah,
But
that sounds nice.
the same thing with the model convention, the scale model convention. It's a 1 day event. We have like a model contest. People get their models judged. Or vendors come and all of that. And
I have here's a funny story about con expense as the attendee.
mhm.
I have a friend named Bruce, a longtime friend, and we're both our thing. He's not a gamer, but our thing is movies
Mhm.
and things like comedy, things like that, classic comedy. And he belongs that I never was able to join this because I was never in an area where there was a tent, but he belongs to Sons of the Desert. Okay, cool. All right. One of us got in, and about 5, 6 years ago, this is when I was only paying still like about 40, $60 for North Texas. He said, I get to go to me and my nephew are going to go to the Lord of the Sons of the Desert convention, the Laurel and Hardy convention. I said, great. And he said, yeah, the tickets were like $275 per person. And I just about had a heart attack when I heard that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you're not gaming? No, I didn't say that. You're not gaming. But I was like, that was for like 4 days. Mm-hmm. And I just, and that's not even the room. I just couldn't wrap around my head a convention like that for that price. And now it's starting to go that way slowly.
But that's the problem. Post-COVID, event spaces have just crawled through the roof. Like I'll give you an example, probably ballpark 2017, 2018, I looked at doing a game event at the Expo Center in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
I thought, and actually it was not a game event. I was thinking about doing a big model, studio scale model convention and all that there, just a 1-day deal. And they were like, yeah, 1 day, but you got to rent all, they get you by renting the tables. You got to rent tables from them and all that. But just for the convention space was like $1,200. I was like, that's not a bad deal, because you sell the tables to vendors in a scale model convention. But now it's like $2,500 to $3,000 a day.
My goodness.
So they have just drastically shot their prices through the roof.
That's crazy. That is really crazy.
Yep.
But folks, we're not trying to discourage you to go to these cons, especially with
the thing is though, it's the reality of, what are you getting? Okay, let's say you do pay $100 for a set of tickets, 125.
Okay.
You're getting 3 days of constant gaming, access to celebrity guests. You're getting, literally just vendors, and you're getting, to meet people you never be able to, the celebrities you're not going to be able to meet. You're going to be able to game a potpourri of gaming. Hell, you can take your games there and game with people and do. So
what I like is the fact that you can actually game outside the con.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is I'm flying in that Thursday, and the con doesn't start until the next day, but there will be gaming there. I know that if people are there.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. What North Texas, they call the pre-con get it on. Yeah. You'll ride the day before, and they just, okay, he's playing over here, he's playing over there. Go ahead.
Because the space will be set up. It'll just be vendors setting up on Thursday. Right. Some vendors early Friday morning, rarely. I mean, we're trying to get vendors to come in Thursday and set up, but like last year, we knew that a couple vendors couldn't make it till Friday, which not a big deal.
So even the price, I see you get more than your money's worth.
A 3-day pass with us is $55.
Yeah, 55, and you get at least double that.
Absolutely, because you've got 3 days of solid gaming.
And not only that, but I'm sure there's game stores around your area and stuff that you console over, but I still want to play.
Yeah, there's a couple game shops in Battle Creek.
Yeah. So people want to play, they'll go there. So it's all a good. Can't these people in Battle Creek see this as good business for them?
This is the problem I'm having with these game shops in Battle Creek, and I found the same thing in Kalamazoo. I mean, for some reason, they do not want to go to a con. And I'm like, and like one guy says, what am I supposed to do? Close my entire store down to come to your convention? I'm like, no, you get a table and have someone come to the table. But that's the thing. A lot of these game shops, they only have 2 or 3 people that are helping running them.
I mean, when I go to North Texas, there are a couple of places like Etten Games.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been into his store, but I see him there every year, and I know what he carries.
Yeah, and that's that's the infuriating part to me about it. Is we have We have one game it's a combination game and comic shop, small, but he's been in Battle Creek forever.
Oh, I love those kind.
No, he's a total ass. Like
You-
you walk in and you go, "Do you carry this comic?" He'll literally look in your face and say, "Look on the fucking wall." He'll tell you that, literally f bomb you, and you're like, "Whoa, guy, I never been in your shop before."
And it's not
Uh,
the charming type of curmudgeon.
no,
It's
it's not. Like I went in there last year for WizardCon. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Don." I said, "Listen, we're doing a game convention." He says, "Not interested." And I'm like, "Well, do you mind just putting our flyer up? We're a new game." I told you I wasn't interested. I don't go to your freaking stupid cons. Cons are stupid. I'm like, okay, have a good day, you know. And
uh,
then it's like, and then the biggest game store in Kalamazoo.
uh-huh.
I went in there, and all I wanted to do was hang up WizardCon's flyer. And he said, we don't deal with first year conventions. And I'm like, oh, I don't. You don't have to come, but would you at least, because he wasn't a manager, could you at least give the info to the manager? He's like, no. And I was like, is your manager available? No. And I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
we have a very weird climate in my area, but
Okay.
also at the same token, as we grow, um, you know, I'm sure that they'll change their mind.
Are your groups like that out there? I mean, do you have a game group? And I mean, do they?
I don't have a game group. I'm too busy to do a regular gaming
I
group.
figured you were, but I thought if you had a game group, maybe that's their attitude too. You know?
No, but we're members of a lot of Michigan game groups on social media, and they're very friendly. Hey, can you post this or you post it, and people share it and do. And we picked up a lot of convention goers through
What's
local
so
gaming groups.
you know what's so funny about out here is in the earlier years in North Texas, I wanted to, get a poster or whatever in the game store and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And they were willing to do it too.
Yeah.
But Bad Mike and Doug said, no, we don't have any posters. We don't promote it. Okay.
Well, the thing is
Okay.
if your convention's at a size where you're comfortable
Mhm.
and you are consistently getting the amount of people that you want, sometimes advertising is a bad thing because what you don't want to have to do is max out and turn people away who drive to your location at the door.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, they were always they've been always been worried about maxing out like that.
Yeah. So
Um,
when you're at that stage, yeah, you got to be careful how you advertise because you can actually over get people to want to come.
yeah. Cause I've gotten like people, guys from my game group comes now. I
Hmm.
got at least one guy who's a regular now.
Yeah.
And I've talked to other people. I've talked people to go in, but this is all me one-on-one with people, you know, no ad, there's nothing there. I don't even see stuff for the like SoonerCon or anything like that, which is just a sci-fi con, but they also
Hmm.
have gaming. Um, but I don't even see that kind of crap around there.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, we got a weird. I mean, I know we have a lot of gaming around here, but
The thing is, Battle Creek has a lot of gaming around it.
it's
You
very
know,
underground. It seems like.
that's the thing with Battle Creek. There's two or three game. There's probably two true game hobby game shops in Battle Creek,
Mhm,
besides the guy who sells some games and comics.
mhm.
But the guy who sells games and comics, like I said, has been here forever. And you go to him if you want like graphic novels, comics. He's like the main comic shop. But the two game shops that we have here in Battle Creek, they do a lot of gaming, but you don't see a lot about it on the social medias.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's like I don't know if they don't advertise or if they don't push it because they're comfortable, but it's just strange.
I have two. We have two game stores I know of now, which is Game HQ. That's the big one in OKC, and
Hmm.
then next door in Norman, where OU is, we have DM Dave's,
Mm.
which is a smaller place. Now, uh, GM, what is it with me today? The one in OKC have been there since I moved here 25 years ago.
Yeah.
They've been here, but they're very restrictive on what they sell.
Hmm.
DM Dave has only started like 2, 3 years ago, and he carries everything and anything. You know, indie
Hmm.
games. you name it. But
He's probably still finding his feet, is what he's doing. He's trying to figure out what's
well,
going to
he's
be the
very
good.
pro. He's very pro OSR and indie
Hmm.
too. He wants the regular stuff. I mean, he's got plenty of Warhammer stuff and plenty of 5e stuff and all, but he can't. I mean, I've bought 2 or 3 books that I couldn't find anywhere.
Hmm.
I go into Game HQ, and the nice thing about them is they will order. They will, if it's in the warehouse, they will order it for you if they don't have it on the shelf. But the
Yeah.
point is, all they want to do is order from their suppliers.
Well, because they've learned that like they can just contact their distributor and have it in 2 days.
I mean, they have practically no um, OSR indie stuff in there.
Hmm.
They, I found some Frog Guide books,
Hmm.
okay, but they were all 5e.
Ah.
Yeah, they want to carry the latest because they want to make the money.
Yeah, I mean it, and that's the thing as a publisher that we're having to face is,
Mhm.
since the shop's been down, we've been seriously taking a look at how we're approaching development, how we're doing development, and it's like, we have to really take a look at developing things that are going to sell.
Mhm.
And the problem is that what people on the street don't understand a lot of times is, you know, developing a product and selling 50 or 100 copies of it, it's really not worth developing the product because, you've got on average of between $2,000 and $5,000 to develop one game.
Yeah,
That's the cost between about roughly between 2 and 5 grand, depending how big it is, how much editing you got to do to it, how much art you have to pick up for it, and all of that. And it's like, you know, selling 100 copies, 150 copies of a game, even if it's short term immediate, that's really just, it's not really worth it, you
and
know?
I can understand, that side of it, being an author, and it's funny because, and it's so funny. I think it's made me a worse GM too. Not a worse GM, but I'm a game master who has played enough in my gaming career to
Hmm.
understand what's going on their side of the table.
Yeah.
It's the same thing now. I'm an author. I have this book, and I hear from you, and I can understand what you are going through
Hmm.
on it that you have to deal. I mean, because to me, if I have this book and I sell 100 copies, hey, I sold 100 copies.
Yeah.
It's a big deal to me, but it's probably, publishers like dropping the bucket.
Well,
You know
the
what I'm
problem with it is this: is that again, it's. I'll give you an example. I'm dealing with a lady who wants me to do a fairly. She's actually the daughter of another author of mine, and
saying?
she has a fairly significant book as far as size, like 125,000 words.
Okay.
So it's going to be 450, 500 page book,
Yeah.
and you know she needs it edited.
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing is that when you take 125,000 words and you charge 4 to 5 cents per word to edit it, because she doesn't want a line edit, she wants a content edit. So you got to check for grammar, punctuation, spelling, sentence flow, plot line, consistency, all that crazy stuff. You're now upwards of a nickel a word at the minimum, probably.
Yeah.
And you know, and like, well, just to do kind of for the sake of what people don't understand, for 125,000 words times that by a nickel, the cost to edit that book alone is $6,250.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But, and, these are I don't want to really say things bad about authors, but some of I've never had the mindset where I wanted to write the great American novel. I've never been that way. I mean,
I,
I wrote this book, and I want to write more books, but I want, maybe it's the actor in me. I want to entertain my readers. I don't care about making a statement or getting a Pulitzer Prize or anything.
but it
I
all
just
depends.
write
But
books to entertain people.
absolutely. But again, it depends. It's like I've written, I wrote a murder mystery. My murder mystery is probably about the size of When the Fat Orc Sings.
Okay.
It's a couple hundred pages.
Yeah,
But
novella.
I've also written a two novel, larger fantasy, two books. Each book is about 400 pages.
Okay. Well,
So
that's why I said I didn't want to, you know,
no, I
dismiss.
get it. That's the whole thing is writing a big book like that or a big series like that. That's a hell of a lot of work.
You got to
And
be
it's what's that?
you got to be committed
You got to be committed, and it takes years to do it. Um,
with any art. You've got to be committed.
absolutely. But
And if
like
you're committed,
I do the reference manuals also. Model technical model reference manuals,
right?
and those even take a lot of work because you got to photograph the model, you got to detail it, you got to get it all down. So what people don't realize about book writing, it doesn't matter if you're writing a 200-page book or a 700-page book. It's a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with gaming. People, they want, they have a role playing game and they have an idea for an RPG, and I get people approaching me all the time with this, and they say, "I want to publish it." I'm like, well, "Hold on, you know, is it a new system?" They're like, "Oh, it's a brand new system. Nobody's ever heard of it." I'm like, "You gonna? How do you expect this is going to do against something like 5e?" And I hear people are starting to throw it at me. Well, this is better than Shadow Dark, and I'm like, let's say it is. No, no, let's just say for the sake
Okay.
of everything, it
Well,
is.
that's a tall order right there.
It's a tall order, but let's just say, for instance, it is better than Shadow Dark. Shadow Dark was good and is good, but also Kelsey not only had to develop something that was new and different, which she did, but she had to get lucky enough to get it to the right people
Yep.
who want to talk about it, who got it exposed to the right people, who then exposed it to a broader crowd, and it grew. And I tell people all the time, you can have written the best book, you could be the best story writer, it could be the most entertaining book in that genre ever written. But if the right people don't get a hold of it, it's not going anywhere.
That's right. It's
And that's why Kelsey
part
did
luck.
well.
It's part luck. You can't
It,
deny it.
it, it absolutely is. But like I tell authors all the time, is, a lot of authors go, well, I'll put it on Amazon. It'll be available internationally. And I'm like, you're
Oh,
right.
bro.
It will be available internationally, but you have to still work it. Join
Mhm.
author groups. Join like Kelsey did. Kelsey did a lot of grassroots advertising. She was smart enough to get it to people. She had her Kickstarter. She gave samples out on her Kickstarter. She did the right thing. She had that right mix of marketing.
Yeah, I'm starting to do that. I mean,
Yeah,
when I get the books from you, I'm going to be out there, beating the bushes.
that's what you do.
And I've got a PDF of the first 10 pages of this book that I can send people and said, read that. If you
Yeah.
like it, get the book.
You know what you do? You take at the end of the PDF, you put a QR code that goes either to your Amazon or your Barnes and Noble, so they can go. Oh, I like this. Click with the phone and order the book right
I'll
there.
have to look again. I think I just put a picture here, but I just said go to Barnes and Noble or
Yeah, no, I'll send you a PDF that links directly to your Barnes and Noble and Amazon.
okay, fine. That'd be
Yeah,
great. But
it,
because I heard, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about now writing because they
yep.
somehow YouTube found out I wrote a book, so now they're popping up. But one of the guys said, and he's a publisher, and it sounded like a good advice. He said, if you can't hook the reader in the first 10 pages, then you don't have them.
Yeah. In publishing, there's a formula they use.
Yeah. So what I did was I took the first 10 pages
Yep.
and said, who wants it? Free.
Yep.
I'll give it to you. You know,
Yep. There is what they call the purchase formula. It's actually called the purchase formula in publishing.
okay.
It's 3 elements.
Yeah.
What you have to do is you have to have an appealing cover. That makes the person go, what is that?
Wait.
Then you have to have an appealing, concise summation of the story on the back because they turn it around, they read it.
Right.
If you can get the first and the second to grab that person,
Uh-huh.
you have a 90% chance of selling that product. But if they can crack that book open to either the introduction or the first chapter, and they can get through at least a page or two and it grabs them,
Uh-huh.
then you have almost a 100% chance of that person buying that book.
Absolutely. See,
But the problem is all
this,
three have to have it.
yeah. Aside from the third one, as far as I'm concerned, this, the front, and this, the board in the back,
Mhm.
that's the elevator pitch.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, even the beginning of your book is the elevator pitch. You did a good job on it,
Oh,
and
thank
that's the
you.
thing. It's a triangle of it's
Yeah.
the purchasing triangle,
But some people
and
don't understand this is really important.
yeah, they don't get it,
Yeah.
and it's like I used, and I'm starting to get it now that we're getting into publishing. People submitting work to us is, you know, I always tell the author, I want you to give me the summation of the back of the book
Right.
because you're the author, you know the story better than I do. And sometimes they'll just say, this is a story of Roderick the elf who battled blah blah blah, and it's like a paragraph. I'm like, no, no, you
Mhm.
need to go ahead. You need to get that person to become engrossed in it.
What
And
I've always, as a gamer and as an author, a gamer, illustrator, grab that concept
yeah,
and slap it on there.
yeah,
Just if you cannot conceive what you're writing in a sentence or two, then don't write it.
absolutely, because you're the author. You should be able. If I tell you, Glenn, talk about your book for 30 seconds. You should, for 30 seconds, be able to talk without like going, let me think here. No, you know your story. You should be able to talk about your characters, the
See,
plot line.
I don't always like my neck. This next one's kind of hard, but I know the premise. I know what I want to achieve
Yeah.
in the book because I was on a couple of podcasts now, live streams, and they say, "Well, tell us about your book." Oh, don't say that to me because immediately my mind goes blank. But I
Well,
know what I have.
but that's where preparation comes in. Any interviewer who's going to interview you, like if I told you, Glenn, I want to interview you about your book.
Okay.
Okay. The next response, my suggestion is for an author to do is to reach out to the interviewer, go, I'm happy to come on your show. Can you please give me a sample or an idea of what you want to talk about my book?
Yeah.
Can you give me some sample questions? Because like when you start getting into larger creators, they will actually tell you, I want a list of your questions.
Yeah.
Because number one, we're going to stay on topic. I want to make sure you're not going to sandbag me.
Right.
And I want to make sure that I can answer your questions in a concise manner because, you're right. I mean, it it does take a little bit sometimes to talk about it, but that's if you're not expecting it.
See, that's the thing. They want to know what your book is about. Do they want to know about your book or what your book is about? Because sometimes they're two different things. You
Yeah,
know,
it can be. Yeah.
because I was looking at this back and it says first thing I opened up is a kind of a intro into the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great day in Puddleton when she glided into the office, blah, 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 blah. Second paragraph gets down to what the book is trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Story more Chandler than Tolkien, da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I started thinking, now, is that too long?
No, because the back of the book, first of all, you're not going to get too much on the back cover of a book.
Oh, you're
That's
right.
the beautiful part about being the back of the book because you only have 2/3 of it to work with.
Right.
So you're basically just doing a 2/3 summation of your entire story.
Yeah.
A 2/3 page summation. That's about all you're doing. And, I always tell people, you definitely want, you want to go ahead and you want to keep it concise. They're difficult to write. I got to admit that they are because, how do you take, 200 pages of a story or 400 pages of a story and put it into 2/3 of a page and kind of do a wrap up? So I tell people all the time, just, do your best. I'm happy to look at it, happy to give you advice on it,
See,
and
that's where as we talked about before on these shows, as far as like having a game that you GM on a regular basis, having a premise. It's the same thing here. If you have a strong premise, it's easier for you to go, okay, this is happening. Okay, this is what it's about.
Well, that's what I do when I write stories for my own books. Is I'll actually sit down with a legal pad and
Hmm.
I just draft out kind of like an overview, and then I kind of write, and I'll fill up maybe half of a legal pad with like character information. You know, what I usually know what I want to do.
Hmm.
I know how I want to be. Usually, my problem is this: I'm a very strong starter. I can sit down on a whim and I can begin and I can get about 4 to 5 chapters into a book and really begin the story. That's when I start hitting my walls because how do I want the story to end? Because I'm kind of like the anti good ending guy. Um, because with me, and this is part of the reason why I like Game of Thrones so much,
Uh,
because you just didn't know what was going to happen in that series.
right.
There's characters in that series that you just at the very beginning go, yeah, like Dragonlance, or the Belgariad by Eddings. But the Belgariad by Eddings, you know damn well, Garion is going to end up at the end living and being king. You know, you know, Polgara is not going to die. And you can just go right down the line. The core characters aren't going to get knocked off.
Right.
You know, but see, I like the concept of, and I always call it the X does not always mark the spot. The maiden is not always rescued.
Yeah.
And the good guys don't always win. And I like to throw those weird plot twists at the very end. Like, have you ever seen the movie Ronin?
No.
Ronin is like a mercenary movie, modern day mercenaries, and what
Right.
they're after basically they're after this box, this briefcase,
Uh huh.
and their job is to intercept this briefcase and to deliver it. Okay, and all through the movie they're after this briefcase, and at the very end they finally get it, right? But they never tell you what's in the case.
Oh, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just like I forget what the thing is. It's the one with Brad Pitt and the one black actor. He's got the really cool voice. Where at the very end of the movie, what's in the box? He opens the box up and his wife's head's in the box. Yeah, I mean it ends that way. I think it was called the Bone Collector or something, or something. It's with Brad Pitt and oh, it's
Yeah.
the actor who quotes
I think
Invictus so well.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is I like the endings that really just make you go, whoa, wait a minute, stop. You know,
I like my heroes to succeed.
everybody wants their heroes to
And
succeed.
well, I mean, happy ending or not, I usually end up with a happy ending because it's like I see it more as a cop show.
Well,
You know,
because people like happy endings.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of times that book there reads like a what do they call this? Procedural cop
Hmm.
shows.
Yeah,
You go and here this happens, you go and here this happens, and you start putting the pieces together,
yeah.
type of thing. That's what I'm concerned. I mean, yes, I want my heroes to live,
Hmm.
but if I come up with a good idea where one of them doesn't,
Yeah, and that's the
decision.
thing. I mean, see, I don't like it's like the superhero movie factor. I
Uh-huh.
know what's going to happen. The superhero is going to start off strong. He's going to almost lose, but at the very end, he's going to pull through no matter what and be victorious. That's Marvel, DC, wherever. That's standard
That's
superhero.
yeah, that's standard story.
Yeah,
Up to the climax, and then
yeah. But
downward.
what
There,
what I like, but I like the Game of Thrones theory, and that is you can have multiple heroes that people
uh-huh.
become attached to character wise. But to me, it's not a bad idea to knock one or two of them off.
That's kind of like the Star Wars universe too. I mean,
Yeah,
you
Han
get
Solo dies.
you build a world with so many characters.
Hmm.
Um, my friend Full On likes to send me anime. What he's against in anime is things like Dragon Ball Z
Hmm.
and um, One Piece.
Hmm.
I haven't seen One Piece. I haven't read One Piece, but I've read the synopsis where there's hundreds of characters in that world.
Hmm.
And then people go, wow, how do you do that? It says you do the same thing the way you do Star Wars. You pick the story you want to follow and follow it.
Yeah.
You like this character and that character, and they're in this story, follow that story.
Yeah, there are a series of arcs that you
Yeah.
follow with
Yeah.
that character.
You can't follow the whole thing, but you can't get a lot of pleasure out of it. So
Yeah.
that's the way I feel about that. Right now, my world is like little. It's getting bigger, but it'll be little.
And it will get bigger because as you add more stories to the Lumper series, you'll get ideas for new characters. You'll get ideas.
I've already gotten 2 for the next book.
Yeah.
One which I introduced right away because he's the guy who brings them the problem.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm a little bit stalled. I've written about 5 pages. And what it is I set the thing up, they got to do this, and boom.
Well,
okay, I want to go this way. I'm kind of afraid. It's like, am I going to go the right way?
Well, do like Stephen King does. What Stephen King does is Stephen King writes the first chapter of his book, and then Stephen King writes the last chapter.
Oh, okay. I thought
so he knows how he's going to begin it, but he also knows how he's going to end it.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of how am I going to bring the 2 in. I can't write that way because
that's also how I deal with GMing.
Okay.
Things like that. Okay, this is what I want to happen. This is how it starts. This is what I want to happen. We got player characters. Let's see how it gets there.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get there, then that's my job to extrapolate and see how it ends. I want to be as surprised as the players. Sometimes a lot of times I want to be as surprised as the readers.
Yeah.
In the book, and to me, that's the pleasure of writing.
Well, yeah, because that is the pleasure of writing because it's just the progress of the story. And sometimes people don't realize, just like what you just said, you discover a lot as you write.
Right.
So,
I'm still fooling. My last draft of the first book, I'm still fooling around with it it's mainly because I found out a whole bunch of punctuation was wrong, so I'm fixing it. But at one point, I had a character say that this place is near this place, and the place it wasn't, they said it was near, is on the other side of the world. So I had to go back and
that's why, if like with me, I have a wiki I created. And my wiki is where my world content is at. That way it can be accurate.
Right.
My wiki's all tied together. I can go ahead and I can, at any time, I can reference it.
I do the same thing, and I've got a OneNote page the same way.
Yeah.
World of Earth. This is, and I've listed the locations. I put the map on there. I list the locations I put in the book. The what I call NPCs, characters that were in the book, so I can go back and say, "Oh, you named that guy George when he was Ed," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to keep myself honest. And I also wrote half of the plot of the book. I only wrote. I end up doing bullet points, bullet point writing in my gaming, GMing, and in my writing. Because I just want to go, I want to give me enough bullet points where I can get to a certain point. So I can, I got what I want how it ends. I just want to get enough to get me started so I can just start writing the damn thing. And, I will write here and maybe I'll go back to the OneNote page and, fine. No, let's get in this way. Oh, no, it's got to go this way. Then there's decisions to be made.
Yeah.
You want to follow that path? You want to follow this path?
Yep.
Folks, this is writing 101.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I'm 68 and I'm just discovering these new, literary writer things.
Yeah, writing, I'll tell you, I love writing. I love I just like the joy of writing and creating.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to that point as I want to love it as much as I love artwork, love drawing. I love to draw. I haven't drawn in a long time, but I do like to draw. And I want to get to that point too with the writing. It's a lot better than it used to be, but Now I know that. And also, I'm learning how to kick my muse in the butt.
Yeah.
Give me some more stuff.
I tell people all the time, writing is a job. And people go, I have trouble writing, I have trouble creating. I'm like, what your problem is? The best way to write is to say, you know what I'm going to do? And it doesn't matter if it's 1 day per week or whether you schedule five, but you schedule a time. Like, okay, I am writing between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. every Wednesday. It doesn't matter. Wednesday between 6 and 8, nothing I'm planning. That is going to be the writing time. And I tell people, if you're going to write at a computer, like with Word, click out of your social media. Don't let anything be able to pop up on your screen because it's too distracting, because people want to talk to you or message you or whatnot.
Years ago, a few years ago, I bought on Amazon this one word processor. I can't remember what the name of it is, but they're all old word processors that have X amount of memory that got a little screen here, and you type. Then, when you want to keep it, you take the cable, plug it into your computer, open up your Word or whatever,
Mm.
say send, and it just types it right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got this thing. There's a keyboard. Go. There's nothing else there. Just go. And I used that for a while. Yeah, it is a job. And I try to fool myself into thinking it's not a job. Because in my mind, if I think it's a job, I don't want to do it.
But when I say job, what you have to do is the best way to create is you have to have schedule time for it.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
you have to schedule that time with no distractions. Um,
I
that's like
like what?
if I sit down and I'm gonna like if I decide like I'm gonna work on my book tonight,
Mhm.
I turn off all the internet. I don't need anything internet wise. I just want Word open in front of me
Right.
so I can do it because, people messaging me, people emailing me. I don't care about that. I shut it all down out of the way and just sometimes I'll put YouTube on, put my earbuds in and just listen to some music or something light in the background while I work. But other than that, I don't want social media up and running because it's just you get in because with me, the best kind of writing, and I'm sure you've done this, but like I'll sit down at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening to write,
Mhm.
and I'll look at my watch an hour later, and it'll be like midnight, 1 a.m. Because to me in my mind, I've only been writing for about an hour, but I've really been writing for 4 or 5, 6 hours, and then I look and I'm like, holy shit, I just wrote 60 pages of book because you get in that groove, you get right locked in, and you're flowing with the story. That's like the best kind of writing to me.
Well, to write, folks, I'll just summarize it this. This is something I've been trying to follow most of my life when I create stuff. I'm not acting because I got a whole other process for that. But like drawing and now writing is the fact that I remember reading quite a while ago, ages ago, an interview with Charles Schultz,
Mhm.
the guy who created Peanuts,
Yeah.
Charlie Brown. And the interviewer said, well, how do you get your ideas? How do you do what do you do to get your ideas? And he said, you know what? I sit every day and I take a doodle pad, I doodle and draw and do this. He says, I can't afford to wait for my muse. I
Hmm.
got to have it every day.
Yeah.
I,
He has dedicated thing he does.
he forces himself to be
Yeah.
creative. And successful people do that.
Yeah. It's just like what, and I'll go back to Stephen King. Stephen King says there's no such thing as bad ideas.
Mhm.
It's just the ideas maybe are at bad times.
Yeah. Well, he's like, I want to do 6 pages a day regularly.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets it. That's how he pounds them out.
But see, that's just it. I mean, if you're at the point where you go, I want to do this and I want to make some money off of my writing.
Mhm. That's
The
right.
only way you're going to make money off your writing is putting out content
Yeah.
because it's just like with YouTube channels. Why I use Eric Tenkar as an example. Why has Eric Tenkar been exploding lately on YouTube? Why? After 11 years or so, he's been on YouTube. Why in the last couple 3 years has he really really exploded, getting to 10K? Real simple. He puts out consistent content, his shorts every day, and you know and what he's learning and has learned is that People want to be stimulated. If I'm going to subscribe to Glenn, Glenn puts out one video a week. But if Glenn's putting out 3, 4, 5 videos a week, Glenn is engaging me. Glenn is keeping me engaged. Glenn's giving me reasons to watch his videos.
And the last couple of years, I've been watching Eric do this, and I know he's going to go. He's going to go because he keeps putting it out.
That's exactly it.
See, I'm known. I don't think I explode. I'm known because for I did 1,600 5 to 10 minute podcasts every day.
Yeah.
I finally had to cut it back to 3 times a week because I was just exhausting myself. But the point is, I look back on my hard disk and it's like 1,600 episodes. Wow. How the hell did I do that?
Absolutely.
But that's what keeps people in
exactly
front of their mind.
It's the same thing with books. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can write a great story. You may sell a bunch of them because people love the story, but people are going to go, what's next?
Right. They're always going to want what's next.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Part of the problem I had is like whatever I did, I didn't think I could do consistently.
Yeah.
And you got to learn, you got to do it. You got to learn how to do it consistently.
Yep.
Because I'm always worried I'm going to run out of ideas. Oh my God. You can't think that way. You just got to keep going. Anyway, well, it's an hour.
Yeah, it's been an hour, so we should sign off because I got stuff we got to get going on. But
yeah, you do, folks. I still have a GoFundMe going.
Yep.
For Made a Wizard Con.
Yep.
If you can throw that in the whatever the thing is down there, they put it out.
Take a look.
Well, in YouTube, the comments section, you can just put it.
Yeah, let me go here.
I do have my book out at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and soon Walmart. And hopefully it'll be at your bookstore soon as I can get some books to pass around.
I put it into the comments link. So
fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, so anyway, folks, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Glenn, thanks for chatting.
Hey, thanks.
And we'll be back on Thursday with the vlog of many things, where we're going to be digging into. Probably this week we're going to talk a little bit about Hasbro. They're under some investor pressure right now.
That's what I hear.
Yep.
Interesting.
And maybe some other goodies.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
And we will be here during the day every week. I don't know what day every week, but for now,
Tuesday's a good day. It's just today's frenetic for me.
Right.
I just got a couple video meetings I got to do, and
it happens.
Got a dentist today. Got to go to my dentist.
I will find a catchy name for it too. Who knows?
No problem.
Wizard
Tower, how you doing?
Wizard Tower vlog. How about that?
We'll figure something out.
All right,
Glenn. Thanks a lot. Death Angel Shadow. Thanks for coming on, everybody. Thanks for sitting in. We'll see you Thursday.
Bye, folks.